I just did my ancestry DNA and found out I'm 100% African. You know, I don't know what the I thought was going to be on there. You know, I thought maybe a little bit of Irish, a little bit of Italian, maybe a little bit of mulatto, some shit. Nah, that say 100% from Africa and Congo. So, like, you just came straight from Africa, dropped off in the South, migrated up north. No cool stories. I get it, okay.
My Pretendians, this is all I'm going to say to my Pretendians. If you don't want to be black, just get on back. We ain't got to argue about this. You don't come from Africa. I understand. So why don't you take an ancestry test and prove that you don't come from Africa? Why are we playing all these games? Why are we playing all these Pretendian games, huh? Pretendian nation, if you don't come from Africa, take a DNA test and prove it. That's all. Anybody come up to you talking about they don't come from Africa, their ancestors, tell them to take a DNA test and prove it. We ain't got to do no theory. We don't need no philosophy. We don't need no reasoning. We have science. We don't need no theories. We don't need no philosophy. We don't need any reasoning. We have science. Roll up your sleeve. In fact, they don't even take blood. You could get a Q-tip and swab the saliva. You could take a saliva DNA test. How much is the African ancestry test, brothers and sisters? How much is the African ancestry test, brothers and sisters? How much is the African ancestry test, brothers and sisters? I want these Pretendians to take an African ancestry test. If you don't come from Africa, take the DNA test and prove it, or shut your self-hating anti-African ass up. Take the DNA test or shut up. I'm talking to all Pretendians. Take the DNA test or shut the hell up. I'm talking to all Pretendians. Take the DNA test or shut your ass up. I don't want to hear from no Pretendians who haven't taken the DNA test. Okay, Pretendians? Let's go one step further, Pretendians. Let's go one step further, Pretendians. Let's go one step further, Pretendians. Let's go one step. Can you please produce this overwhelming amount of literature from Pretendian Nation that proves y'all don't come from Africa? Here's what I mean. I'm talking to the Pretendians right now. Here's what I mean. Native Americans have a large literature. They have libraries full of literature on their culture, spirituality, sociology, way of life. Native Americans left a record of their civilization. You can read and study Native American civilization. The American African, although it was illegal for us to learn, although it was illegal for us to learn how to read, we left a vast literature of our experience in America. You can read our own words from the 17th century. You can read our own words from the 18th century. You can read our own words from the 19th century. You can read our own words from the 20th century. We have a vast catalog of literature. So let me say this to the Pretendians. Y'all were here before we got here. Which I agree with. Which I agree with. Which I agree with. What I disagree with is when you say you didn't come from Africa. So please produce the literature of the Pretendian Nation. Show me the authentic literature of the Pretendian people where they say they did not come from Africa. Can I please see that? Can I please see this large repository of Pretendian literature that says they claimed they didn't come from Africa? Ain't nobody show me that yet. I ain't seen a piece of literature from a Pretendian yet. Original manuscript from ancient America where black people claim they didn't come from Africa. Where is the Pretendian literature? Where is the Pretendian literature? Where is the Pretendian literature? Pretend Indian, Pretendian. Pretend Indian, pretendian. Pretend Indian, pretendian. Where is the literature, the ancient literature of the pretendian people? See, brothers and sisters, that's why we about to reorganize Team Pan-African. Who's standing with me? Now, let me stay with the pretendians for a minute. You won't take a DNA test because that's going to bust your imaginary bubble. The pretendians will not take a DNA test because that's going to bust your imaginary bubble. You don't have no ancient literature of pretendian people claiming they don't come from Africa. You have no ancient literature. Now, let me go to my next point on the pretendian army. Let me go to my next point on the pretendian army. Let's see this. Let's see how this is going to go. Let me go to my calculator. Let me go to my calculator. I'm only going to keep y'all for a few minutes. You have 4 grandparents, okay? You got 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, 32 great-great-great-grandparents, 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents. Pretendian Nation, can I ask you a question? Pretendian Nation, can I ask you a question? Pretendian Nation, you have 64 great-great-great-grandparents. You have 64 great-great-great-grandparents. You have 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents. Can you please provide me with a list of the names and birth dates and birthplaces of your 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents? You can't do that. You can't do that. You know why you can't do that, pretendians? Because you don't even know your damn grandparents' names. Most of you can't go back more than 4 generations. Most of you can't go back more than 4 generations. Name me your 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents. Name me your 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents. You can't even name 8 of them. You can't even name 4 of them. Most of you can't even name 1 of them. And you want me to believe that none of them were from Africa, but you look just like an African. None of your 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents was African, but you look completely African. Somebody make it make sense. Can somebody make it make sense? None of your 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents was African, but you look exactly like an African. Can we please take the DNA test and shut this shit down today? Can we give can we raise some money so all pretendians can take an African ancestry test? Can we please raise can we please raise the money so all pretendians can take an African DNA test so we can shut this shit down? But I got one more thing. I want to go one more. I got one more piece for the pretendian nation. I got one more piece for the pretendian nation. I already have 2 daughters. I got one more piece for the pretendian nation. When are you going to build a community for the pretendians? I don't see none of these pretendians doing anything for the pretendian community. Ashe? Has anybody seen any pretendians trying to build a school? Has anybody seen any pretendians trying to open up a bank? Has anybody seen any pretendians trying to build a supermarket? Has anybody seen any of the pretendians trying to open up a hospital? Have you seen the pretendians trying to get some land from the government or buy some land? Has anybody seen any pretendians doing anything except intellectually masturbating on YouTube? I'm going to ask you again. Have you seen any of these I'm not from Africa Negroes? Have you seen any of these I'm not from Africa Negroes building anything except YouTube pages? I don't see them doing nothing. All I do is see them on YouTube trying to convince proud African people that they're not from Africa. That's all I see. That's all I see. Where is the community for the pretendian people? If somebody is a pretendian, how can they educate their kids? Do y'all have a Pretendian curriculum yet? Is there a Pretendian curriculum for parents to educate their kids? Do y'all have a bank? Do y'all have any health care? Can y'all employ? I don't see no infrastructure for the Pretendian nation. All I see is YouTube struggle streamers. All I see is Pretendian YouTubian struggle streamers. Brothers and sisters, listen. Brothers and sisters, listen. Brothers and sisters, listen. The school is almost done. I got an invitation to Puerto Rico. Where are my Puerto Rican Africans at? I finally got an invitation to Puerto Rico. Where are my Puerto Rican Africans? I'm pulling up hard. Take me to the Santeros.